All right, so I want to make a tutorial video for first-time players. Basically, this is Prison Escape. Bunch of zombies in a bunch of rooms, and you escape at the end. As you go along, the zombies get harder to defeat. Now, when you first start playing, it's going to take a long time to clear it. It took me about 45 minutes, but the very first thing I want you to do, if you look under this car and see that code, 180890, this gives you a free gun. Now, how you get it is you go over to this thing here, and there's a bunch of different secret codes. But if you type the code in here, hit enter, then you can go over here, special start weapons, and you can select this one here. These three unlock later on in the game as you get more, progress through the game. But if I'm honest, these three guns are not that great, and this one is the best one of them all. So I would definitely start with this one. And eventually what you want to do is you want to be able to upgrade your damage. So on this boost section here, you may want to upgrade slightly, put a little bit of money into the shield and health at the start. It's quite cheap at the start, so it might be handy if it helps you get through to the end of the map by yourself. But the damage boost is absolutely critical. The higher your damage boost, the quicker you're going to get through the map. The quicker you're going to get through the map, the more money you're going to earn each, hour that you play the game or whatever. So at the start, I would definitely be putting your money straight into damage boost until you get the map finished in, say, 15 minutes or something like that. You'll know, how you feel. You can make a decision on your own. Eventually, I want you to upgrade just the pistols. The SMG, shotguns, rifles, yeah, they do damage, but these zombies only take headshot damage, so you want to be aiming for the head. And these other guns here, they sort of reload very slowly. My top recommendation is the Hyperburst pistol. Probably my second recommendation is this tactical pistol here, which is slightly slower, but slightly more damage, but I don't think it's really worth it. I think the Hyperburst is the best gun in the game for now, or for me to get this time of completing the map in 5 minutes 38. And I hope to break this today. I hope to get under 5 minutes 30. Eventually, you also want to upgrade your boosts. So this is basic health stuff, but as you upgrade, you can get some stuff that gives you speed boosts, like this Nitro Chug Jug and the Nitro, whatever it is, Nitro Splash and the Nitro. But you can sort of hold off on that. Apart from the damage boost, you should be fine with the damage and that starter gun. You want to be upgrading this last walker. So when you get your damage up good enough so that you're consistently getting to these last walkers and eliminating them in reasonable time, put all your money into this last walker here. Now this provides the best value for money, as you can see here. So 59 billion fits into 312, 5.5 times, something like that. Whereas if you look at, say, this guy here, 50k, how many times does that fit into 11 million? Like 200 and something times. So these are absolutely not worth it. Once you smashing the game out in 6 minutes or something, maybe just for the hell of it, you can put some money in there just to get rid of some loose change or something. But I would just focus on this one, and maybe also in the end game, your loose change should probably go into the red one, and you'd probably disregard these three bosses. They're more or less not worth upgrading, because there's only one of each of these bosses, whereas these enemies here, I forget the numbers off the top of my head, but there's 45 of these guys, 30 of these guys, 60 of these guys. And that's another reason why the White Walker is such good value for money, because there's quite a lot of them in comparison to the earlier ones. Same goes with the red. I think from memory, maybe there's the most reds, and then anyway, that doesn't really matter. But if we look at the bosses, there's only 5 bosses. There's, I think, on the last, sort of like the last orange level, there'll be the blue boss. On the last blue level, there'll be this boss, and so on and so forth. And you can see here, this gives me 1.5 billion, but it costs me 2 billion. So that's kind of like, you know, it's a 2-to-1 ratio or whatever, but there's only one of them, whereas, you know, there's 60 of these guys. So you got to take that into consideration. So trust me, don't really bother with the bosses. All right, we'll have a look at one more last thing here. There's, you know, leaderboards and that type of thing around the room. There's a rest area. You go in here, you earn XP and money passively. You can see I'm earning $2 million each second. But, you know, that may seem impressive, but I've probably put in $1 trillion or something like that. I say this is absolutely not worth it unless, you know, you've grinded this account so much that you've just got a stupid amount of money and you are, you know, going into the rest area for whatever reason from time to time, maybe. But it's the money you're going to be earning here compared to, you know, 60 billion on the White Walker for one kill. It's absolutely not worth it. All right, let's start. I use the hyperburst, but let's run this map using the, what is it called here? Whatever it is, we can find out once we go into here. So we've selected that. Once we go into the room, maybe we need to select it again. Maybe I didn't select it before. So we'll select it. Yeah, there we go, selected. Then we go into the room, and then you can see my inventory is empty. I'll go into the room, and then it will appear. Now, at the start, you get a choice of 2 gun items and 1 healing item. Or as far as my account goes, these are always just healing items. The reason why, another reason why you don't want to unlock all of those guns is if you want a particular gun, say the hyperburst, and you have the shotguns, the SMGs, whatever, unlocked, you're going to be going in and out of this room, because as you go out of this room and then you go back in there, that's how you sort of like get the items to reappear again. So you're going to be doing that a heap until you find the gun you want. So that's another reason to only have the pistols unlocked. So if you like the pistols, yeah, don't unlock the other stuff. So we'll select this weapon again because it got rid of it. All right, let's run through the map. I'm going to give you some tips how to get through the map. You know, it's going to be difficult in the beginning. Let's just select this hyperburst as well. I'll switch over to this gun. We'll use that just so you can see what it's like. It's called the Ocean's Burst Assault Rifle. So you're going to go into this room and the timer is started already. Now, headshots are what we want. If we do a body shot here, okay, that killed it already. We might have to look at that a little bit later. But basically, headshots do something like, I don't know, 20 times the amount of damage. So we've got 3291 there and 219. Okay, so that's whatever that is, percentage-wise, 15 times or something like that. So yeah, you 100% have to just go for headshots. So this room, there's nothing much to talk about here. If you jump around, you can avoid them hitting you. Usually, I'll show you later on in the map what I do. You got these ones walking towards you. So what I'd do here, if you're a beginner, I'd sort of stay here, wait for them all to sort of walk through and kill them one by one so that they're not attacking you. But as you get more progression, you can just run through this map and just kill them very quickly. I'll give you a little demonstration of that, what it looks like as well. This room here, what I would do, I would run to the end of the room, have them all facing you in a line like that. Then if they approach you again, you want to jump and sprint to the other side and then repeat the process. So they're all walking towards me. And yeah, that's how you would do most of the rooms. You would go in there, you'd run to the opposite side of the room, you'd let them walk towards you. Maybe you'd be walking backwards and shooting them to fend them off. And then if they get a little bit too close, you sprint away, make some room, do it again. This room's quite easy. There's like 2 loose guys here, and then there's usually a bunch that gather here. So, you know, if you're a first-time player, they're all going to walk into this area and just stay there. So you can just blast away at them. And if you aim at this spot here, the one that's closest to the corner is going to be replaced by the one that's behind it. So you can just leave your cursor there, basically. Sometimes in this room, you get ones that are hiding in here. Occasionally, you get one that hides in there. But that's probably like a 1 out of 5 thing. Usually, they'll behave the way that they just did then. This room here, same deal. I would sort of run over to the end here. I'd shoot them all in a line. And as they approach closer, do the same thing. Jump to the other side as they walk towards you, fend them off, that type of thing. Now, as you can see, this gun does, it does a good amount of damage and is reasonably fast, and the recoil isn't too bad. It's not too bad, but I'm going to show you the hyperburst. I'm way more confident using the hyperburst. And let's just eliminate this room in a normal way that I would eliminate it. So I'd run to the end here, and then I'd go about here, then I'd face them. So then you know that they're always going to walk towards you because they're coming from, behind here. They're going to walk around this corner, then you got this corner. So I usually run to a spot, say here, where they're all in a line, so that I can, don't have to adjust my aim too much and I can just focus on getting the headshots. This room has a trick. It can be, a little bit tricky at the start if your damage is really low. But if you stay on here, they won't come towards you. So as you can see, they're all walking away. But then if you walk onto the floor, then they'll all start coming towards you. And then if you go on here, they won't sort of know where you are. So they'll just walk away. If you're a little bit more of an advanced player, I just run to the end here. Again, get them all in a line. And blast away. This room doesn't really have a trick. Again, it creates separation, walk backwards, that type of thing. You have to slide under there. Standing here could be good. You can get the ones that are walking down the stairs all to come here, and you can just sort of position yourself here, and that's quite good. This room here, I would suggest running over to here. There's usually one walker there. And then you can get him in a line right about here. This room here has a hiding spot, so you'd want to jump up here. Can I do it? I can't do it. Let's see, try again. I don't know, have they patched this or something? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so you would just stand up here. You're totally safe from getting hit. But the problem is the walkers will walk away and they'll go around the corner, and it can be, sort of take a while. So you could go down, let them sort of come back towards you, and then jump back up again. That sort of strategy comes up in a few other rooms coming up. This room is, for the beginner, probably the most difficult because there's no really good obvious hiding spot. You can go down here and crouch, so then you can sort of heal up. They'll come towards you. Then when you go under here, they won't know where you are, so they'll walk away. See, we've got that guy coming towards us. He'll start walking away. But then as soon as we pop back out, he can sort of know where we are, and he comes towards us. So I would use the strategy there of sort of going in and out of that area to attract them. And yeah, again, just blast away at headshots. And another thing with this room also, you can try going into this room and doing the whole separation, change sides, walk backwards, shoot, change sides, walk backwards, shoot. A good thing about the hyperburst is because it's so fast, when you hit a shot on a walker, it puts like half a second of stun on them so they can't walk any further. So if you've got a whole bunch of them walking towards you, you can sort of spray this and get those front ones to kind of stall a little bit, which buys you a little bit more time. This room does have a strategy, so you could just run straight to the ends. You could jump to avoid getting hit. And if you stand on these stairs here, they can see you, they can get you if you're here. But then if you go on the stairs, they can't get you. So you want to just be standing here if you're a beginner player. That's clear. Oh, there's one more remaining. Yeah, you do get stragglers sometimes on the map that just sort of glitch. We might have one facing a wall, just like that. So if we go around into the next room. This room here, there's one guy, and then two in this room, and then one out of this room here. So what I would suggest Yeah, probably, you know, try and keep that door locked so that the two in this room are the only ones that come at you. And then with this room here, these guys can't cross this rubble. So if you eliminate those four and then come through here, you can either stand on this rubble and be safe and shoot them, or if your damage is reasonable enough, I just run to this corner or close to the wall and get them to stand in a straight line and do that. This next room has a trick as well. If you go into this room, I find, see they're coming towards me, but then if you go in there, they'll start going away. So the strategy you want to use again, coming in and out of here to attract them, to get them closer. And there's the red box. That's all of them. Go up the stairs. And let's use a nitro. Just make it a little bit faster. Now you want to drop into here. If you drop down to there, into that corner, you're safe. They can't get you here. So eliminate those two. Then in this room here, same deal. They can't get you from this room, so you can weave in and out this room to, you know, attract them and then retreat if you need to. So that room's, you know, pretty easy. This room here has another hiding spot. I would just go straight to this couch area here. Wait till they come towards me. Walk backwards. And in and out of here so that they come towards you. This room can be, I think this was an annoying room for me at the start. I sort of go to here, then start walking backwards. Obviously, you know, it'll take a lot longer, but you'll walk backwards here, try and fend them off. If they get a bit too close, just get some separation, just run, start again, walking backwards. Then you can get them around that corner, and then just rinse and repeat that. This room here has a hiding spot. Same thing, if you go in and out of this area here, you can attract them. But I found if you're sort of more of a, you know, 6-minute type of player, my favorite strategy for this room is to run to, like, sprint to here, then sprint through this line here. And then normally I get them to go in a straight line there. So then I've got an easy exit straight out there. Okay, now we've got the White Walkers. These guys give the most money. I would just stay here and just start blasting them just to buy yourself as much time as possible. Obviously, they're going to get a bit close, but when they do come close, that's when you would sprint to the other end. So we just leave a few here. So let's just say we've sprinted to the other end. If you go here, you're safe. But they don't know you're here, so they'll end up going down the stairs. This is like a safe spot again to weave in and out of. I think there's one here. Yeah, that's what I would do. Stay at the start, shoot them from a distance. Once they get too close, run to the end, hide there. Another White Walker room. All these remaining rooms are White Walkers. Again, I would just try and stay here as long as possible. And if they get close towards you, yeah, go to the other end. Also, another thing, occasionally you can get them to glitch. Like if you get a bunch, see, I walked forward there and that unstuffed it up. But sometimes you can get them to glitch and they just get stuck because, you know, there's a whole bunch of them in this little space and they just cannot go forward. So that can be a good, you know, if you get lucky and that happens, that can be pretty beneficial. Another white room here. The strategy that I employed here when I first started, I either started walking backwards through here, or if you want to run all the way to sort of over here at the start, and walk backwards, and then sort of do laps of the bus here, and then, you know, you may want to sprint to separate yourself, shoot them a bit, and then sort of come out here, and as they come out there, shoot them, and so on and so forth. Also, another spot, if you don't want to do that, you can actually just stand right here. They should all stand and gather here, so you can just, you know, blast them with headshots. Even if your weapons do a little amount of damage. You know, it may take time, but it's probably the most efficient thing to do because you're guaranteed to get a headshot because they're just standing there. This room here, I would just concentrate on running to the end. You may need to jump over them so that they don't swat at you. I'd go here, I'd face backwards and start shooting them as they come through this little gap. But eventually you're going to get overwhelmed. So you can either, depending on how good your damage is, sort of walk backwards and do sort of laps of this area. Or the easiest way, if you jump on these rubbish bins, I find if you go to sort of like the end of the rubbish bin here, sort of as far as you can go without jumping off, they will not go away and they'll just sort of stay here. And hopefully they can replace themselves. We'll try and make a demonstration of that. So we shoot that guy and maybe that one will get replaced. See how it walks forward? And that one replaced that one. And now we're up to the very last room. So there is 18 whites, well, 17 whites in a box. I would run over to here, get them walking towards you. Again, as you're walking backwards to go into this corner, you can shoot at them. But if you go here, you're safe. I think if you just go a little bit closer to the edge here, you can sort of get them to stop from walking away, but still keep them gathered. So, you know, best case scenario, you get them all looking like this, and you can just blast away at headshots. See, once you get your damage high enough, it's just one burst of the hyper burst to kill them. And the box takes a little bit more, so I've got to build up my damage. After that, we're done. Go into this room, and you can jump in the car, or you can sprint or do whatever. And then once we get to the end here, that is the end of the map. So thanks for watching, guys. Stick around, I may do some other, you know, maybe how I do a speedrun video. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.